I'm Gary Varvel. I'm an internationally syndicated cartoonist, and I love food, interesting people, and the art of caricatures. So what better way to spend a day than to combine all three? This is Cartoonist in Cafes Drawing Caricatures. Today I'm headed to Honeybaked Ham Company and Cafe in Carmel, Indiana. For almost 30 years they've been serving up turkey, pie, sandwiches, and of course their delectable ham. Designed as a grocery store cafe, you can shop, eat, or ask them to cater your next event. Regardless, it's the perfect setting for my guest today, comedian John Branyan. John is a talented comedian who brings a brilliant wit and his faith in Jesus to the stage.
He made Adam first. From the dust of the earth, he made man, and then he took a rib and made woman. Obviously, that was the rib that we used to use to read minds.
Have you seen the cigarette?
Oh, yeah.
Smoking in church?
Yeah.
It looks like a cigarette. It looks like a cigarette, but it's not. Can you imagine the fun on Sunday morning in the front row? Preach it.
A lady come up afterwards and said, I just didn't appreciate that. And she started to cry. She had tears in her eyes. Yeah. And I'm not really prepared for that, you know. That's not my...
Most aren't.
No. And so I held her for a while. I didn't. I said, well, I'm sorry, I wasn't. She goes, my mother...
Right as I take a drink.
My mother is a smoker. And she's not a Christian. And I just didn't appreciate what you said. So if I stop doing that bit, is that going to lead to a direct conversion? Is she suddenly going to embrace the gospel?
Right.
Because I'll quit if that's the case, but I'm skeptical.
I am skeptical too.
Yeah.
Don't you hate it when somebody starts that with a conversation with, let me ask you this?
Let me ask you a question. Like I'm going to say, no, don't.
Exactly.
This is going to be strictly statements. We're not going to ask any questions.
Do you think God has a sense of humor?
Do I think he does?
Do you think he does?
I do think he does. I think he made Christian people.
Yeah.
Christian people say stuff like, we're here to introduce people to Jesus. We just want to introduce people to Jesus. Jesus already knows everybody. He's not like, well, I know how many hairs you have on your head, but I'm not good with names. I heard a preacher say, God's moving here. You know, Christian lingo, God is moving here. I thought, this must be a great neighborhood. He lives in heaven and he's moving here.
Now, the bit that you do with the three little pigs is gold.
When we read Shakespeare, we're like, what light through yonder window? Does this come on a DVD? If I'd have been born in the 1700s, presumably, children had a bigger vocabulary than I had, which means I wouldn't even be able to recite fairy tales to kids because I'm not smart enough. In time past, though not long ago, there lived pigs in stature, little, in number 3, who, being of an age both entitled and inspired to seek their fortune, did set about to do thusly.
The Three Little Pigs is a very humbling story for me because that was proof positive that I don't have clue one about what's funny. A couple of years ago, before I did that story, if you were to ask me, I could have shown it to you in my notebook.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking about doing.
Right.
And if you would have asked me, when are you going to do it? I would have said, completely seriously, I'm probably never going to do this on stage.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I don't think it's going to work.
You know, I
didn't think it was going to work.
Here's why I think it works, though. The way you act it out.
Pray thee, little pig, grant me entrance. Nay, it shall not be, indeed, not by wit or whiskered jowl.
The language is so convoluted and overly complicated, but you still recognize the story, and I think that's funny for people.
The mighty maelstrom of the wolf's exhale splattered second swine's shack and shortened his sanctimonious scolding simultaneously.
We just gotta have a sense of humor about ourselves. That's what's missing in culture. Everybody is so politically correct and everybody is so easily offended now.
I agree.
that we can't have any fun with each other anymore. You may have some people that take themselves seriously when you draw pictures of them, don't they?
I do, yeah. I spoke at a senior citizens home one time. I got an email the next day from a guy who said he couldn't sleep that night because of my
your
talk.
cartoon.
Yeah, my cartoon so offended him. So who criticizes you most?
Leadership. I don't know how many people are going to watch this.
So you've been uninvited?
I have been uninvited.
I just recently got uninvited, which was hilarious.
Congratulations.
I feel like I've arrived.
That's
now.
what you want.
So, it was a prayer breakfast.
A prayer breakfast?
Yeah.
There you go.
And,
well, then you know the sort of people that criticize me.
Right.
Prayer breakfast, to not get invited to a prayer.
Well,
That's like saying, Gary, we so do not appreciate what you say, we don't even want you saying it to God.
See, you're good. You're posing a little bit.
Is this going to make any difference?
No, none.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So that doesn't help, though.
Yeah. All right. When it comes through with what you say, that's when people take offense and they realize, hey, he doesn't think exactly like me.
Yes. Why are people so upset when? Are we all supposed to walk in lockstep?
In Christendom, yes. That's what I get from the New Testament, at least. We're all parts of the same body. And I think that means that we're all nostrils.
The best interview, the worst interview I ever had was the same interview. And it was an interview with an editor who took a look at my work and said, can I be honest with you?
You love that question.
And he says, you draw better than most people who do this for a living, but he said, I don't detect any fire in the belly in you. I don't know what you're passionate about because it doesn't come through your work. And he was right. I had spent a lot of time working on drawing, but editorial cartooning is a little different animal. You have to
have a point of view.
It's the editorial part. And then the other thing is, why do you believe what you believe?
My experience has been that people don't really have an intellectual problem with the idea of God. It's more of a pride or heart problem when you get right down into it.
We have become our own gods and we've decided what's right and wrong. And so when God doesn't fit into our box, then, well, he's wrong and I'm right. Well,
one of my favorite things is the discussion of morality with humanists. They're some of the most moral, decent people that you're ever going to meet, but they have no reason for being that way.
Yeah.
So are you saying that all atheists are murderers? That all atheists are... It's like, no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I don't understand why they're not. If there truly is no God, then why don't you just live however you want?
And I think what they're not recognizing is they have a conscience and they don't know where it came from, but we do. They're still made in the image of God, whether they like it or not.
People come up and say, well, maybe you can use this in your act. 90% of the time they're wrong. It's amazing how many times people come up and tell me dirty jokes. And I'll ask them, did you see anything that I did on stage? I think I gave you an idea for a cartoon, didn't I?
You did. I haven't used it yet.
Was it a good idea?
It was all right. Here's the kind of ideas I get. Hey, I got a good idea for a cartoon for you. Okay, what is it? Obamacare. Yeah? That's a topic.
So I have to show it to them? It really looks just like me. I do have an interesting face.
This was the first attempt that I did, and I didn't really like it that well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It looks just like me. That's how people use napkins.